Well, hello! Welcome to Drawing with Fire. I am Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, here to help guide you through your burning adventures. Today is a quick review. I received these Jo Sonja Chroma paints, acrylic, both in iridescent and in just regular matte flow acrylic, to test out on wood for our burning. I did seal this wood. Where the blue tape strips are, that area is not sealed. I just wanted to see what would happen if the wood wasn't sealed. For using these paints, it is advised that you do seal your wood before you paint on it. And I'm using a couple of coats of fast drying spray polyurethane clear satin. So there's just a couple of coats on here. And now we're going to get to pulling off the tape, and let's get to painting. That's always the fun part, taking off the tape. As long as it comes off in one piece. You can see where the wood darkens when it's sealed. That's why your burnings always look a little bit darker if you seal them, because it does alter the color just a bit. Alright. Now it says that these paints, the regular acrylics, have the different series on them and the pigment numbers to make them, but I'm not seeing any type of light fast rating on them. So I will go ahead and make sure to test these. And on the iridescents, we are looking at, let's see here. I am not seeing any of that information at all. So we will definitely test these out. The color of the iridescents are going to be two different colors. That's why I've got a gradient burn on the wood. And we're going to get started. I've seen videos suggesting that you use some type of glaze medium, which they sent me the medium also to try, to thin out the paints to ensure that they remain transparent. It does say, let's see here, this is to help create glazes or wood stain. And you begin with a ratio of 1 part paint to 3 parts medium. And the ratio is determined by strength of color desire. For staining wood, seal with 1 coat of clear glaze medium. I use the spray coat instead. It says to use the clear coat glaze medium over the raw wood to ensure an even application of stain. Apply paint and medium in direction of grain and wipe to remove excess. Repeat to enhance color, and that's to stain the wood. This also helps to increase the working time of the acrylics because they do dry quickly. And let's see here. It says a hairdryer may be used to speed surface drying. Maximum of 3 coats may be applied within 24 hours, and that's of just this medium. Let's see, apply an undiluted as a light sealer on the wood prior to paint. Well, I'm not doing this part. I may flip it over later and test that out to see if the paint is a little easier to blend. Alright. So, I've already burned my gradient, sealed. We're going to do the iridescents first and go from there. Let's make sure I'm on camera. Got to turn it kind of sideways for you guys. So 1 part, I'm just using a little palette. So 1 part of paint to 3 parts of clear glazing medium. And all of these were sent to me Trying to think. Was it when the chart pack markers were sent? It's actually a different company. I will have all the links down in the description. I don't need a whole lot, so we are going to do one squeeze of maybe. Come on. Let's go. It's just going to spit out everywhere except where I want it. Come on. Oh, that's probably going to be a little too much. So let's see what 1/3 looks like, or 3 parts of this. And that's probably good. I do have water standing by to rinse my brush off. And the main thing I'm looking for in the acrylics is to ensure transparency. We don't want to lose the burning we worked so hard to have. So, and this is just a toothpick to stir it. I may have put too much medium in. It's going to be hard to see on camera. It's all going to look white. So I'm going to have to keep track of what paints I'm using. So this is the red. And we'll also see how close the label is to the color. I'm just using a regular filbert brush. And let me get it at an angle where I can reach it. So this part's not sealed. This part has 2 coats. Let's see what happens without making a mess. Alright. It's going to show up lighter on light wood. And hopefully, I'm not going to have to add more paint, but we'll see. It may be better to seal with the glazing medium. We'll find that out. I'm not seeing any on the burning, so I may need more paint. You could go with a smaller brush. I thought this would work. I don't have too many acrylic brushes. Oh, go with the grain. That's right. Go with the grain. Somebody watching this video just yelled at me to do that. I can feel it. Even though you're watching it recorded. Let's get some. It is definitely not as streaky if you go with the grain. Just trying to get some off the brush and into this area that's not sealed. So it says up to 3 coats of the medium. Make sure you guys can see it. Remember, it's not going to show up as well on the light. It's already starting to dry a little bit and getting tacky. I may switch brushes. Let's see here. Let me just pull some of the paint that came out because I really want to see it. Of course, we gotta wait for it to dry. I'm not sure. It's gonna stand out as well as I'd like. Okay, we'll leave that. I'll add more layers if I need to. Now I'm gonna go with less glazing medium without touching the one I painted. no fun. Let's don't go. See, it's not a dark paint. We're going to go less. Let's see here. Let's see if that's any better. If that's going to thin it out the way we want it to. Or there has to be more. You can use the back end of your paintbrush. This I just find easier. So I can see more of the paint. I've never used these before. I'm just looking for options so that we can create all kinds of art. Alright. Rinsed out my brush. I wonder if this other brush will be better. A little more stiff. Alright. Get some paint. Go with the grain. Remember, this area here where it's lighter is not sealed, and I did that intentionally. I just wanted to see what it looked like if we didn't seal first. I can see a little bit more green. I think this is going to take a couple of coats. It really is just glazing it. Which could be good if you're not going for a very direct. You just wanted a bit of iridescent in your burning so that people take a double look, but without taking over the whole piece. I think that would be the main thing I'd be looking for my pieces. So that's the green. I am seeing, oh, okay, as it's drying, I do see a little bit more red. Bring it up to you. I'm seeing a little bit more. That's cool. Very subtle. I like that. Alright, rinse out the brush, and now we go to turquoise. And I'm going to speed up the video from here so that we can move on. Okay, so we have now put all of the iridescents on. I am going to do multiple layers, but as they're drying, and they do dry quickly, wow, I'm going to go ahead and quickly do at least one more layer. I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but on the dry ones, I can see the color, and it does show up, especially the violet. I'm really liking these. I'm gonna, since I have so much already out, I'm gonna go ahead and do a second layer, and then we're going to move on to the matte flow acrylics. Okay, so that's the second coat. I did the circles down at the bottom are for me to mix the two products together to see if how those look. So I guess it's a good thing that we have some extra of the iridescent already poured out. So as these dry, they're looking really cool. So I'm going to grab another palette and we're going to move on to the transparent acrylics. Okay, so because we are working on wood, I am going to use the glazing medium to kind of thin these out. That's kind of how we would use them for wood burning, because we don't want a thick, heavy coat in general. I guess it depends on what you're going for. So I'm going to go ahead and mix these with a little bit of the glazing medium. So I wiped this off just so we could see what the staining properties, how well it stains the wood. Probably should have let it sit in a little longer, but I think that's going to be okay. It does streak a bit. I may have needed to use a little bit more of glazing medium, but we'll see how this dries. I'm not sure how I would use it, but I will definitely find a way because I don't like to waste anything. Well, you can already tell the difference with the glazing medium. I put a little less on the transparent magenta, and it coated the wood lighter than when I used the rose pink. So with that, I would just definitely suggest playing with how much coverage you want, how bright the color is. And if you notice, it does travel a little bit. I think it might work better if the wood is sealed with the clear glazing medium first, because it would kind of condition the wood a little bit better to accept the paint. So this is the first layer of the transparents. I really like this burnished copper. Wow, that's really pretty. It doesn't look like, let's see if we can, I'll put the colors here on screen. Hopefully you can tell that the colors didn't, well, transparent magenta. The color itself changed slightly with the magenta and aquamarine blue, and of course silver. Can't be helped. I'm going to go ahead and do a second layer just to see what kind of coverage we get. It was hard trying to, I'm probably off on my glazing medium. Okay, so we are going to put a second coat and see how well the coverage is, what to expect over our burning, and there we're going to mix colors and play. Okay, so I've let this sit for about 6 hours. Wanted to make sure it's fully dry and cured and see how everything turned out. I'm really loving the iridescence. I'm hoping I can get this to show up well so you can see it. Trying to get the light to reflect off of it. Now, if I do hold it up to the light 90-degree angle, you can see even on the lighter wood, the color, of course, is not as pronounced. I will definitely be using these over burning. And of course, the darker the base that you put this the iridescence over, the more you're going to see it. And let's see, I put it over the paint as well, and you can see it a little bit here, here, and some gold right here on the burnished copper. Where I mix the two, I would say the green and silver, it's a little harder to see how well it mixes because both the copper and the silver, of course, have the metallic shimmer to it, so it's harder to tell. Where I've done it with the regular acrylics, I'm not seeing the iridescent when mixed together, and it does calm down your color, and you got to take that into consideration. It's definitely doable if that's what you're looking for, but where it's over the paint directly, I can see it. So if you wanted to have a color mix, I would suggest painting with the transparent and then putting the iridescence over it. Hopefully I can get a good shiny view for you of what it looks like. There we go. So the red, the green, the turquoise, the blue. I'm going to go this way, see maybe if the light over here will catch it. That is, there we go. So, I'm definitely going to be using these iridescent colors. I think for scales, for wings, these are a great add to make it so it's there, but doesn't, it's not in your face. Let me zoom in a little bit. Maybe that would help to see. Alright, let's try this again. Remember, on the lighter color of the wood, it's not going to show up as well. There it is. Trying to grab it. Not easy. And then on the paint itself, you can see where I've added the iridescent to the blue. I'm really glad that Chroma sent this to me to test. I did request the iridescents because I was curious about them. And bonus, they sent me the 5 colors on the transparent acrylic as well. I will list here somewhere on the screen how many colors they have for transparent. These are all of the iridescent. And I would say go for it. Definitely beautiful colors. This is what you're looking for. I would seal my piece with a couple of coats of Birch polyurethane and call it done. I definitely will get a piece done with this. You could also use it on watercolor paper if you're doing a burning on watercolor paper. But because it's acrylic, it's going to soak into the paper more. So you would have to use a clear gesso over your burning on the watercolor paper in order to use these paints. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Our community is growing and it's awesome. I appreciate all of you, and don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you think of these paints, the colors, and if you would use them. Happy burning, guys. Bye.